I remember as a child sitting before a plate of food that I didn't particularly like and thinking, having grown up on Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie, that if I could blink my eyes or twitch my nose, maybe I could change this plate of peas into ice cream. And then life would be sweet. And then I heard this story about Jesus changing water into wine, and I thought, wow, what a cool guy. Of course, I wasn't interested in wine so much at the time, but if he could change water into wine, surely he could change peas into ice cream. And so I prayed. And I prayed. And no amount of praying did the trick as I look back at my plate. But then that's just it. This wonderful story at the wedding feast at Cana is not about a trick. It's not about magic. It's really not about a wedding. It's about something very real and very powerful. The love of God alive in the new wine that is Jesus Christ. John's gospel is full of sign and symbol, more than the other three. And it says this is the beginning of Jesus' ministry, the first of his signs, as John tells it. A sign that the power of God is among us, not a whimsical power that exists to change water into wine, but a power of a great new relationship, which we are called to have with God in Jesus Christ. A relationship different than one based in fear of God's punishment, but centered instead in God's love. This new relationship is vastly different, as water is from wine, as plain is from glorious. While Jesus in the story is an invited guest, really he is the inviter in our lives, calling us to encounter God with all the richness and abundance of a wedding feast, including the wine, including the people, for it is among the people of God that we can see the glory of God at work through the gifts of the Spirit, as our second reading from Paul reminds us. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit in each person for the common good. Wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, prophecy, could go on and on. All of the gifts are of the same Spirit, and if our gifts are of a common origin, then those gifts should serve a common purpose in our world. And the purpose of unity, of common concern, and the love and peace which flows from that. Tomorrow, the nation celebrates a great man of the church, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man with many gifts, ones which he could have used only for his own gain, but he saw something bigger than himself. And he used every ounce of his own gifts, his very own life, to try and bring love and peace to people who were not treated with love and peace. He lived what we heard in that first reading from Isaiah, for Zion's sake. For the sake of those suffering and used and abused, I will not be silent. I will not be quiet until all people are known by the beautiful names which God has given them. Some we hear in that first reading from Isaiah, my delight, my espoused, my dear loved one. God cares for each and every person in this world with the intimacy of two people in love. Taking us back to the wedding feast. God cares for each and every person in this world with the intimacy of two people in love. God wants that relationship with us and wants us to share that with one another. And to have the courage to stand up, using our gifts to full potential for the common good, is how we can live that relationship with the Lord. That is the true miracle. Not just changing water into wine. For it has been said many times, a true miracle is not when God does the will of people, but when people do the will of God. Let us know and share that new wine, Jesus Christ.